IIT alumnus and business management scholar who has over 30 years of experience in American and German multinational corporations. He has held senior roles, including board members, MD, and CEO at Fortune 500 companies, and has extensive experience in global mergers and acquisitions. Since 2016, he has been an advisor to board of directors at Hybon, leading strategic growth and operational excellence. Under his guidance, Hybon has significantly improved its system, processes, brand positioning, and market share. Today, Mr. Prabodh will present a talk on best practices in elevator maintenance. So let's welcome Mr. Prabodh.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. Is the best practices in elevator maintenance. So I am presenting a small PPT, few slides. So best practices in elevator maintenance. What are the key enablers for effective maintenance towards safety, performance, and the life of the elevator? So let's go one by one. This will be the agenda for the day of my presentation. So the first point is that the maintenance of the elevator should preferably be done by the OEM, because OEM here means the company which has supplied the elevator. They know the product very well. Any third-party maintenance or service provider may cause more problems than solve. Now, the service scheduling, that as the numbers grow in the market, it becomes a bit challenging for people to keep track which elevators are now due for maintenance in this period. So if it is a system-driven service scheduling, then this problem can be addressed. The third is the scheduled service by prior appointment. Now, this is a courtesy and also reflects the professionalism of the company. The service technician should not turn up without an appointment. So this is to schedule service by prior appointment. The next point which we will discuss today is maintenance by qualified and trained technicians. Definitely the OEMs, since they are manufacturing the product, they are installing the product. Of course, it starts with the designing. So design, manufacture, installation, and they have to service the product. So throughout the chain, we have qualified technicians to take care of the product which has been installed. Another very important thing is the technician's appearance and behavior, because he has to go into sometimes homes to service the elevator where his behavior as well as appearance has to be conducive to the environment. Safety protocols and checklists, very important with elevators, which we will discuss. Documented SOPs and checklists to perform the service. Tools and equipment and replacement of parts. Now, there should be a policy of how the parts are replaced. Service logbook is another very key requirement, that whatever services are performed, whether they are logged in, whether they're documented, or just they believe on their memories. And finally, a feedback call. We are all accustomed to this, whether we get our car serviced or anything. After the service takes place, in a day or two, there is a feedback call just to find out that what has been the satisfaction level. Now, the first point was maintenance by OEMs. So we should have a written contract, whether it is for annual maintenance contract or for a comprehensive annual maintenance contract. Annual maintenance contract, normally the companies offer only service, whereas CAMC, comprehensive, as the word defines, it includes all the parts. Consistency and familiarity with the product. Now, if the OEM is doing the maintenance, then they know the product and they are familiar with the parts of the product, the critical parts. The technicians in the OEM, they have the expertise on the technology because it is proprietary in nature. No external service provider will have access to that kind of technology. So that is self-explanatory. Accountability and ownership, very important. If the product is from a company A and the service is being done by company B or an individual B, and if anything happens, they will start blaming each other. And then the accountability and ownership will be lacking. So if the OEM does this, then of course there is no question to be asked. Access to original parts, it doesn't need any further explanation. The OEMs will have original parts, whereas a third party will get some parts from the open market, which may or may not be as good as the original. Historical data, the OEM will have the historical data for the not only about the product, but also about the service history. So they know that what all issues have been there in the past, and accordingly they can plan and execute their service. Organize record keeping, of course. And now we come to the system driven schedule for periodic maintenance. As we said, depending upon memory is not the best case. You may forget some lifts, which elevators which were due. So, what is a system driven? This is where the system software generates the list of elevators which are due for service in the specified period of the day, week, month, quarter, or year. You can have a date field from to. If you want to what elevators are due for service in this week, then it will throw up the list. The benefits of the system driven. What are the benefits? Service scheduling, not dependent on memory. We have discussed this. It reduces downtime by preventing unexpected failures. It streamlines maintenance workflows. It optimizes resource allocation and usage because in the system, all the previous records and history is there. It minimizes emergency repair costs because you are doing a preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance. It ensures necessary services are performed timely and efficiently without the need of last minute arrangements. What is the need for prior appointment when you go for a scheduled service? Even the customers can plan their schedules accordingly, minimizing disruptions and surprise visits by service technicians. No one welcomes that the doorbell rings and you find someone standing at the door. Ma'am or sir, I've come to service your elevator. No, I'm not free today. So the prior appointment is always recommended. Technicians and tools are prepared in advance because if it's a prior appointment, then you know who is going, does he have all the tools, and so all the preparation is done in advance by the company. It reduces idle time. Scheduled services help in preventing unexpected breakdowns because then you are servicing the elevators periodically. So, what is the importance of qualified and trained technicians? So, they provide high quality maintenance, leading to improved lift performance. They have expertise in troubleshooting because they know the product and they know the history and they are trained to look into the problems and issues and do the troubleshooting. This minimizes lift failures and operational interruptions. The proper maintenance practices extend the life of the lift, saving on spare part costs. If it is not serviced as per the uh, as per the calendar, then the spare parts cost. And I think Aditya in the previous presentation he did mention that 360 days, the 364 days in a year, the lift can work fine. But if it doesn't work even for one day and there's a major breakdown, so it's a penny wise, pound foolish kind of a situation. It ensures compliance with industry regulations and standards. Proper training ensures adherence to safety protocols, avoiding accidents and injuries. Another point. This is a soft point, the technician's appearance and behavior. Generally, this is something which can be ignored. But according to us, according to me, It is one of the very important points, also as important as the technical knowledge. Arriving on time, the professional appearance in company's uniform with company ID card, it creates a positive first impression and establishes credibility and confidence in the customer that yes, an authorized person has come to my house. Should be properly groomed. Very important, he should have appropriate PPEs. This is personal protective equipment like safety shoes, helmet, safety belt, because he has to work on heights. So he has to protect himself that in case he slips, the safety belt will not let him fall. Reflector jackets and gloves. Keeping tools and equipments clean and in organized toolbox. Professional behavior builds trust and confidence. Display a positive can-do attitude and being courteous. Service report to be prepared by the technician and signed by the customer. So these are the behaviors or the it is expected from a technician. And last but not the least, leaving the workplace clean. He should not litter the place and just leave. He should clean it up, whether it is the oil, grease, or any other residuals out coming from the service. Safety protocols and checklists. Automatic rescue device. Mr. Lard had talked about these subjects in his opening presentation. So these are the points which the service technician has to see. These are absolutely mandatory. The safety protocols and checklists, which is automatic rescue device. Is it working? Is the battery in good condition or needs replacement? Overspeed governor, door zone safety, car top safety, pit safety, terminal limit, upper and lower. All these points Mr. Lard had covered in detail. So I am not repeating that. Documented SOPs and checklists. Now, what is the need for document? If it is not documented, again, you are depending on memories, which can sometimes fail you. So ensures tasks are performed uniformly, reducing variability irrespective of who goes. The SOP will ensure that everyone is performing in the prescribed manner and process. It helps maintaining high standards, meet regulatory requirements, minimizes the risk of overlooking important steps, process review and enhancement, timely completion of services, because then he knows exactly that this part of the service has to be done in 10 minutes and this part in 5 and so on. So if he's following a laid down process, then the time taken will also be standard. Tools and equipments, they have to be proper tools. They help in completing the job faster, efficiently, and in appropriate manner. It reduces the risk of accidents and injuries using the right tools. It ensures longer lifespan of both the tools and the equipment being maintained. Preventive maintenance using the right tools can avoid costly emergency repairs. Proper tools ensure safety of technician, because if he is not using proper tools, even his safety can be compromised. Replacement of parts, there are two ways. One is the life cycle where there is a specified life for safety critical parts. And this has to be replaced in so much time or so many cycles of the lift. Both of this can be measured and metered in the controller. And the second is condition based, sorry about that, where he checks repair, either he repairs or he replaces the part. The service logbook I mentioned earlier also, it is it provides a detailed history. So if the technician changes, then he knows what was the historical background of this lift. The date time maintenance, these are all very standard things. The description of the work, credentials, list of parts which have been changed in the past. It also helps tracking the frequency of maintenance and identifying patterns. Patterns means if a certain part is failing frequently, then he has to do a further root cause analysis and see why is this part failing in this lift and not in others. So maybe this is something to do with the site conditions or something else. So a logbook, a service history is very useful. It provides valuable data for making informed decisions about repairs, replacements, and upgrades. Historical data improves maintenance planning. Last slide, it has been slightly long presentation. The feedback call, schedule calls at a convenient time for customers, have structured plan script. You shouldn't be just wavering around. You should have a structure of the questions. What questions do you ask? And it should be flexible. If the customers want to express their thoughts freely, that should be welcome. It should not be, "Sir, in my list only these questions are there, they out of syllabus है course." ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So the customers are free to express their, show genuine interest in what customers are saying, avoid interrupting. These are just the, again, the behavioral aspect of a feedback call. Even if there is a negative feedback, you have to take it as a feedback and take the appropriate actions in future. Addressing concerns directly, you can improve customer retention rates. Identifying recurring issues can help streamline operations, reducing inefficiencies. Continuous feedback helps in refining. And then finally, overall rating by the customer. So that brings to the end of my presentation. There were small, minor technical glitches in between. Sorry for that again. Uh, Thank you.
Thank you, Prabodh, for educating us on the various ways we can have elevator maintenance.